The courtroom was electric, thick with tension, the kind that makes even seasoned lawyers grip their pens a little tighter. Outside, the press swarmed the steps like vultures, hungry for the next headline in what has become one of the most shocking entertainment scandals of the decade. Inside, Sean "Diddy" Combs, once a towering symbol of wealth and power, sat uneasily in his chair, his eyes darting from the judge to his attorneys. But the silence of the room shattered with a single declaration. Young Miami, the woman who had once been by his side at galas, parties, and red carpets, was now demanding an astronomical $500 million. $500 million, a number so staggering it made the crowd gasp. And for the first time, Diddy's mask of control seemed to falter. This was no ordinary lawsuit. This was a bomb detonating in the middle of Diddy's empire. For decades, he had projected an image of invincibility, bad boy records, multi-million-dollar business ventures, luxurious mansions, private jets, and an aura of untouchable success. He wasn't just a music mogul, he was a brand, a force of nature. But today, that carefully constructed empire is under siege. Allegations, lawsuits, federal investigations. Everywhere Diddy turns, he faces fire. And now, from within his own inner circle, comes a demand that could strip him of what little stability he has left. To truly grasp the chaos, we need to rewind. Sean Combs wasn't always the embattled figure we see today. He rose from the streets of Harlem to become one of hip-hop's greatest moguls, with an eye for talent and a knack for turning artists into stars.
Dishonest, violent, horrible. A promiscuous swinger who lied to and cheated on multiple partners. Incredibly, that's how Sean "Diddy" Combs' own lawyers describe the billionaire music mogul, currently facing serious trafficking charges in a New York court.
He helped shape the careers of legends. His empire grew beyond music, clothing lines, vodka brands, television networks. Forbes once estimated his wealth in the hundreds of millions, making him one of the richest men in hip-hop. But alongside the accolades came shadows, lawsuits, accusations, whispers of corruption, and more recently, the chilling emergence of federal scrutiny. As investigators comb through his financials, as lawsuits pile up with graphic and damning claims, the empire that once seemed bulletproof now looks fragile. And then enters young Miami. Born Caresha Brownlee, she made her name as one half of the City Girls, carving out her own space in the rap world with unapologetic lyrics and a magnetic personality. When she was first linked to Diddy, fans were skeptical. Was this a genuine romance or just another high-profile arrangement? They were photographed together at events, spotted on yachts, seen vacationing in luxury. Miami herself admitted their relationship was unconventional, describing it as special, but never labeling it with traditional titles. Still, the bond was undeniable. For years, she was in his
right now is going through a number of different reasons. Again, very quick reporting indicates that the judge is citing to the defense attorney's own statements during the case that Sean Combs is a violent
orbit, basking in the lifestyle that
person has had violent personal relationships. But of course, the defense said that doesn't mean he's guilty of racketeering. It looks like the judge is now using those statements to say he should
came with standing next to one of music's richest men. But what once looked like an extravagant love affair has now collapsed into a courtroom war. Miami's legal team claims that Diddy made promises of financial security, of lavish support, of stability that extended far beyond romance. They argue she invested years of her life into him, stood by him through controversies, and in return, he owes her. Not a few million. Not a generous settlement. $500 million. That number is shocking on its own, but it becomes even more devastating when paired with reports that Diddy's accounts are empty, or worse, frozen, for a man whose brand was built on
Did you all move on from such a public relationship and keep it all private? Like there was no spill out, there was no mess, there was nothing for us to write about on Hollywood.
Excess, the idea that he might not have the liquidity to cover such a demand is staggering. Sources close to the case suggest investigators have locked down portions of his fortune while lawsuits and criminal probes unfold. Add in mounting legal fees, potential settlements, and the bleeding of his business ventures, and suddenly the man once considered hip-hop's richest.
What a Wild King night was when him and a guest or guest would go to a hotel room or be at his home, his bedroom, and they would have intimate gatherings. I would have to go and prep that hotel room, which consisted of baby oil astrogloss.
Staring into the abyss of bankruptcy. Inside the courtroom, witnesses described his reaction as one of shock. A flicker of panic crossed his usually composed face. The arrogance, the confidence, the aura of invincibility, it all cracked for a moment when Miami's demand echoed across the chamber. His attorneys scrambled, arguing that the demand was outrageous, that Miami was exaggerating her claims, that Diddy could not possibly meet such terms. But the truth is, even if he wanted to, could he? Reports suggest his once vast fortune is tied up, inaccessible, or diminished. The courtroom drama didn't end there.
Trying to find her, and her attorney said that she may not be willing to come and testify anyway. So, be interesting. Okay, we're moving.
Lawyers clashed viciously over financial records, each side pushing to expose the other. Miami's team painted her as a woman who gave her loyalty and now deserves justice. Diddy's defense framed her as opportunistic, capitalizing on his vulnerable moment to extract an impossible sum. The judge listened, unimpressed by theatrics, focused instead on the hard numbers and cold facts. But beyond the legal arguments, the emotional weight was impossible to ignore. Here was a man who once commanded respect, now fighting to...
Haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic, evidence.
I'm not speaking on it because I don't care. I'm not getting into it.
You're unbothered.
I don't, yeah. Like I never...